Hello, teacher. Good morning.
Hello, Flor. Good morning. I thought you weren't going to
Hello,
join.
teacher. Good morning. Teacher, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I was mentioning that I thought you weren't going to join the class.
Yes, I take my mom to the vaccine,
Uh-huh.
so for that reason, I am late.
Okay, no worries. Um, so let's see the explanation of the content. I'm so sorry, I'm having my camera off because it was very windy last night, and I think something happened with my internet because I don't have internet today. I'm using my cell phone data to connect this class. Um, I think something happened with the cables because it was very windy, but it's fine. Okay,
Okay.
so let's explain the content so we have enough time to see both topics. So, what do you see here? What do you think it's going
Someone is fixing his car.
on? Right? So when it's fixing a car, no? Um, do you have a car, Flor?
Yes.
Okay. When your car broke or breaks, what do you do? Do you repair it yourself or you take it somewhere else to get it repaired?
I look for someone to repair it.
All right. We usually don't know, especially women, we don't exactly know what's going on with cars, no? So if our car stops working, we're probably going to call to a mechanic, no? Maybe a friend, someone that can help us see what's going on. And if it's probably bad, we're going to take it to a mechanic, right? Because we cannot fix a car, right? It has to be done by someone else because we're not mechanics. So, what do you think is going on in this picture?
Mm, the the girl is having a haircut.
Yes, yes. So when you
and
want to,
and then
uh-huh.
eh, and then she's ready.
All right, yes, in the second picture, no, simply. So when you want to cut your hair, do you cut it yourself, Flor, or you go to the stylist or the hairdresser to cut it?
No, I have to go to a peluquería. How do you say?
Yeah, a hairdresser,
Hairdress. Yes.
hairdresser. All right. So maybe you can cut your hair, right? However, it will be maybe a little bit uneven or messed up a little bit. No? But if we go to a hairdresser, we know that whatever we ask for, we're going to get. So that's why we get our hair cut. No? You can have someone cut your hair, no? Or you have your hair cut. So that's today's topic. Today's topic is called passive causative, and we use this to talk about services that another person does for you. Could you read this example, please?
I had Nick framed so that he looked guilty.
Guilt. All right, thank you. So in this case, they are mentioning that they had someone done something, no? And so in this case, we're using a passive causative. And how can we use a passive causative? We usually, the most common one is have, but we can use it in any tense. So either have, maybe past tense, have, or future will have, right? Plus the object or the person that is going to talk, we're talking about, in this case is Nick, and then we have the past participle. All right. So we also use this passive causative to talk about something that causes something else to happen. In that case, we use get. Instead of have, we use get. Is the same. Get for present, got for past, and we'll get for future. No? And then we have the object, the person, no, that is receiving the action. No? And then we have the past participle of the verb. All right, so the form is on the chat. So whenever, let's go back. Whenever we talk about services, for example, you have your haircut or you have your car repaired, we use have, no? In any tense, present, past, future, continuous, etc. When you talk about services, we use have. And when you talk about when something gets, when something causes something else to happen, we use get. Now, when we have kind of like a cause, an action and then an effect, or an action and then a result, we use get. All right, so that's the main difference, and those are the two causatives we're going to see today, have and get. So can you read this example, please?
This is the recording that will get need reinstated.
Yes, reinstated. Okay, so in this case, we have the passive causative again, but instead of have, we have get. Get the object or the person who's receiving the action, and then the past participle of the verb. It's always like that. Okay, so that's the form again, like I mentioned. The subject, we can either have or get, depending services, or maybe a cause effect. Get, no, when we have someone to do something else for us, or something else to happen. Then the object, that is usually a person. It could be a person or it could be a thing, but usually it's not a person. And then the past participle at the end. All right. Any questions so far?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay. So besides this, no, the passive, it's called passive causative, no? We can use have or get, and remember the direct object, whatever it's getting the action, no? In this case, it could be a thing, like such as a hair, and then the past participle. Could you read the example, please?
Talia gets her hair done at Fausto's hair salon. Talia has her hair done at Fausto's hair salon.
All right, so in both examples, we are using either get or have, no? The meaning of both, it's very similar. However, when we want to be more specific about a service, we should use have. No, but the meaning is the same. It's just which is more common. No? It's more common to use have in any tense when we're talking about services. However, we can either use both of them and it has the same meaning. So what is this sentence saying? That your hair is going to receive an action. No, what's the action? I know done might not represent a haircut or a style or something on your hair, but this is a very common expression to talk when you're get something to your hair. No, it's very common. No, instead of saying cut or when you get many things in your hair, maybe you get a haircut, maybe you get a hairstyle. No, instead of mentioning each of them, when you say done, it's including all of them. No, haircut, maybe a hair color, maybe a hairstyle. No, todo lo que tiene que ver, digamos, con el cabello se puede resumir en done, ¿no? Que te hagas tu cabello, más o menos. A eso se refiere done, ¿no? Por eso no dice cut, no dice haircut or hair color or anything, ¿no? It's a very common expression to use when you talk about your hair. So, who's getting the action in this sentence? Who's receiving the action in this sentence, Flor? Is Talia or her hair?
Her.
Yes, great. Thank you very much. So her hair, it's getting done, no? Or her hair is has done something, no? And again, both sentences have the same meaning. Okay. Any questions?
No, it's
All
okay.
Right. Okay. We can replace done if you want to with other action. It could be cut, but remember it has to be, the verb has to be in past participle. No, this is the verb done. Okay. So we can use again this topic with any tense. Okay, could you read all of the examples, please?
He has gotten it down at the same place since he bought it.
Okay, from here, please, sorry. From John.
Okay. John has get his car inspected every year.
That's simple present. The next one, please.
The present perfect, he has gotten it down at the same place since he bought it.
Next one, please.
He had or got it inspected last week.
Thank you very much. That's simple past. Next one, please.
He's going to get it painted next week.
All right, that's future. And the last one?
He might have the tires replaced too.
All right, great. So as you can see, the only thing that we change, well, we changed the whole idea, no? When we use the tense. However, we need to change either have or get, no? Depending. This is simple present, so has or get depending of the subject, no? He, she, it uses has and the rest has, right? He, same, no? We follow the same structure, has, no? And then gotten, it's proper of present perfect. No, he has gotten it done. In the case of simple past, not just we just put the verb in past simple, had or got. No, with all of them, all of the subjects is the same. Future is going to. No, is going to, and then we have the same. The object who's receiving the action. No, all of the examples are an it, and then the past participle, and the last one with modals. When we want to be a little bit specific about whatever we're talking about, we use modals. Not any modal. Might, can, should, would, no? Any modal verb, we can replace it here to have a different meaning about possibility, ability, probability, right? Usually modal verbs talk about it. Okay, any questions maybe?
No, it's okay. It's just recognize the time.
Exactly, yes. So whatever you're talking about, no, if you're talking in the past, we'll concentrate simple past or present perfect. No, if you're talking about the future, it's going to or also will. And if you are talking about the present in general, no, simple present. Or if you want to be a little bit more specific, you can use any mode. No, but the structure is basically the same, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's continue. And by the way, we use by when we want to mention the person that is doing the service. So, for example, who gets your haircut? Uh, Flor, who gets your haircut?
Um, Amy.
Yes. Whenever you want to cut your hair, who cuts your hair, Flor?
Ah, I don't usually have my haircut.
Mm-hmm. But when you're
Mm,
done,
I looking for a place for my house, near from my house.
all right. So probably that's a hairdresser, right? So
Yes.
when you want to cut your hair, the hairdresser cuts your hair, right? So when you are, for example, mentioning someone that you get a haircut and you want to mention who did it, you can use by to introduce or to mention the person that did the service. For instance, here we're talking about hair, no? So the hairdresser does that service. Could you read this example, please?
Amy is getting her haircut by the best hairdresser in town.
All right, great. Thank you very much. So in this example, because we're mentioning something like an important information, we're mentioning the person that is doing the service, right? Otherwise, it will be too unnecessary. No, no dices, digamos, the mechanic fix my car. No, it's obvious. No, who else is going to fix your car, right? But if you want to add a little bit of more information, you can say, no, oh, my friend's friend, mechanic. Oh, sorry, my car was. I'm going to use past simple. Okay, my car got repaired by, and if I'm going to mention any important, just important information, I will mention by who was repaired, no? And I can say by a very cheap mechanic. ¿No? Solamente si voy a agregar alguna información importante, menciono quién está realizando el servicio. Por ejemplo, quiero especificar que el servicio el mecánico era barato, ¿no? Vaya cheap mechanic. Entonces, o por un buen mecánico, ¿no? Vaya good mechanic. Solo si voy a agregar una información importante, utilizo el by. Si no, es innecesario, porque sabes, ¿no? You know who cuts the hair? A hairdresser, right? It's not necessarily to mention. Or who fixed your car? A mechanic. We all know that, no? It's just if you are going to add an important information, you mention the person that is doing the service. All right. So we do not say Amy is getting a haircut but by a hairdresser. No, because it's logical, right? Es como que muy repetitivo, no es innecessary. Okay, any questions here?
No, it's okay.
Okay, so I believe that's all. Let's practice. Let me share this exercise with you. Okay, this one is going to have many different tenses, so you will understand the logic a little bit better. It's this one. Let me share the link through the chat. And could you share your screen? We're just going to try to choose the verbs that makes more sense for the sentences. So whenever you can, please share the exercise. The link is it's on the chat. All right. Could you read the sentence and then the correct option?
They should get someone to frame your picture.
All right.
Can I have this announcement to can I have this announcement printed?
Past participle, remember?
I'm having some documents copy.
Copy. No, past participle.
Can we have a professional paying this?
Yeah, it's because it's a question. When it's a question, we don't use past participle.
Can I have my sweater dry? No, dry cleaner.
Yeah, in that case, it's because it's what's the word? Adjective.
Okay. Um, she will get her friend to repair her bicycle tomorrow.
All right.
He needs to have his pants
The action means to make the pants longer. No.
yes, he needs to have his pants lengthened today. Lengthened in the present.
Okay, you can choose it, please.
In the past.
Yeah, the past participle.
She wants to get the tailor to shorten.
It's simply because of the tense. I know it could be a little bit confusing, but let's see this next exercise. Could you click on the link, please? It's on the chat. It's very short. It's just a 4-sentence exercise. So the example, it's using a model, right? It's a question. So could I have these shoes repaired by tomorrow? Goes the question. So we have to try to put the first sentence words to make sense, and we have to use the correct form of have. So how can we express this sentence? Who's the subject? We always start with the subject, right?
Yes, Oliver.
Mhm.
Oliver
Now let's try to identify the tense. What tense do you think it is?
is past because it's
Okay.
last Monday.
Okay, so if we're using have, what's the past tense of have? Excellent. Had. And then what they are talking about?
Delivered. Delivered.
Remember the object goes after. No, we
Oh,
have
yes.
the subject, have or had, then the object. In this case, it's a thing, right? A package, apparently. And then the action, it has to go in past participle. All right, very good. And then the time tense. Could you read it, please?
Oliver had a package delivered last Monday.
Excellent. Number 2, please. Okay, always the subject first, and then let's recognize the time.
I think I will get
We're using have, remember? With all of the sentence, we're using have. It was correct, but just instead of get, we're using have, but
I
all
will
right.
have
Now the thing, what's the object?
a sign.
A sign, no?
A sign.
Mhm. And what's the action the sign is going to receive? What's the verb?
I will print it.
Okay, very good. Past participle, print. And then the complement,
Professionally.
excellent, yes. In number 3, we have a question. And we have a modal, right? Modal verb. It's cooled. Maybe the question can start with modal, right?
Yes. Could
Okay.
I
Then,
I
excellent.
had could I
What is
have
the object?
a suit
Very good.
dry
Now,
cleaning
excellent. Past participle, yes.
by tomorrow?
Excellent, yes. That's the question, no? All right. Finally, we have another question. Excellent. What's the object and the verb past participle?
Where can I have pick a picture frame?
All right. You can click on finished or terminado. All right, great job. So it's probably a typo because it's correct. Well, we are
Mhm.
already reviewed the sentence. It's correct. It's just probably a typo or something. Maybe an unnecessarily space or no, but it's correct. All of the sentences are correct. Thank you very much, Fleur. So finally, really quick, let's see this tense. Remember, some classes we have one topic, another we have two. So, um, all right. So I'm going to explain really quick this. Okay. So let's see these examples. Mm, Will you read both examples, please?
I will call you tomorrow.
Mhm.
He said that he would call me the next day.
All right. Thank you very much. So in this example, we have an interaction first, and then she's telling someone else, right, what he said to her. No, that's why she goes, he said that he will call me because he said that, no, I will call you. And then she repeats that and she's telling that to her friend. But she's mentioning him, so she goes, he said that he will call, right? So next example, please.
I like Peter.
Mm-hmm.
She say she likes you.
All right, thank you very much. So in this example, same thing. No, she's telling someone else what she said. No, that is today's second topic. These actions are called reported statements. Reported statements are ways to mention or express what someone else said. Do you remember the difference between say and tell?
Yes.
Okay, so just to remember a little bit, no, we can use say when we are mentioning what someone else said. We can sometimes use quote marks, no? He said in quote marks, whatever he said, not exact words.
Mhm.
But sometimes we
Yes.
can change the tense, no? He said that, and then we change the tense. Instead of present, like he said, we change it to the past because this was already mentioned, no? And the difference between say and told is that in said we don't mention the listener, and in told we mention the listener. No, so this is called reported statement. When we mention someone's exact words, we use quotation marks. For example, Jackie said, "I post anything." No, whatever they said, we can mm, 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 repeat it basically, but using quote marks. No, Jackie said, comma, and then whatever it was being said between quote marks, uh, we can say it. No, we respect the exact words. However, the reported statement, it's when we mention what the other person said. However, we change the tense so it makes sense. No? And we use that to introduce that statement or whatever they said. No? Could you read this example, please?
Jackie say that she have posed as a kid's executive.
So, thank you very much. So because we're mentioning what they said, no, we use that to introduce that. No? And obviously we use said because it's past simple. No? It was already said. And it's not necessarily to use that. No, this is optional. If you want to, you can say it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. No, it's not mandatory. But the meaning is the same. No, Jackie said, and then we obviously change the tense. No, to make sense. No, and it's usually past simple. She had posed or whatever. So Jackie said she had posed. No, here we have that, and here we don't have. It's the same meaning. Could you read both examples, please?
Jackie said she had posed as a kid's executive.
The second, please.
Um, Jackie say she had both and her kids execute.
Thank you very much. So we don't use that here, no, and the meaning is the same. It's exactly the same. And we obviously don't use quotation marks in reported statements because no, we're not mentioning the exact words. We don't need to use quotation marks, no quote marks, because we're changing the tense. No, we're changing it to past simple. No, she had post. It's past simple, or well, past perfect in this case. But we adjust to the tense the person said. We adjust it basically. And we can also use, well, we already seen examples with say, no? We use say when we don't mention the listener. Could you read this example, please?
Dean, I am worried. Jackie said that she was worried.
Excellent, thank you very much. Here we are not mentioning the listener, but when we want to mention the listener, we use tell. Could you read this example, please?
Jackie told Dean that she was worried.
Excellent, thank you. So in the second example, we're mentioning the listener. Who was the listener in the second example, Flor?
In the second example, Dean.
Exactly. So that's the listener. And when that's an important information and we want to mention that, we don't use said, we use told, right? So let's stop here and let's practice a little bit. You can take a look at that. No, that's the difference basically. Remember, when we don't mention the listener, we use said. And when we mention the listener, it could it be anyone, not me, John, someone else, we use told. Okay, so let me run this exercise. A second, please. Okay, so okay, let's try to do this. We don't have a lot of time, so you're going to help me to choose, okay? Could you read the sentence and try to choose the correct option, please?
She told me that she wasn't happy.
Excellent. She told me. Next one, please.
You say that she didn't like men with beard. With
All right.
beard.
Bird, hair on your face, no? Sorry. Next one. Oh, sorry. There.
I told you that I had a new girlfriend.
All right, pretty good. Next one.
We say that we were going to be late.
Yeah, great job. Next one.
Anna told you that she didn't have a car.
All right. Pretty good. Next.
I told her that Johnny was busy.
Next.
James told me that the film started at 8 o'clock.
All right. Next one.
Olivia said that she had called Jad that morning.
All right. And finally.
We told them that her sister was on holiday.
All right, great job. So that's basically the difference between one and another. Let me go back and explain the little rest of the statement. Can also be used in any tenses, but I want to explain this part because we don't repeat the exact words, remember, with the quotation marks, we have to change the statements. So we change the statements depending of what tense do we have, we change it to another tense. So for instance, so if you get a simple present tense, not the verb, you change it to simple past. The action or the verb, you change it to simple past. The whole idea changes to simple past, no? Could you read it, please?
There is no Byron Walter.
The
Didn't
second, please.
say, didn't say that there was no Byron Walter.
Excellent. So we change the past. No, we change the verb to this from simple past to simple present, sorry, to simple past. In the case that we get present continuous, we just simply change it to past continuous. Could you read example, please?
I am not seeing anyone. Talia said she wasn't seeing anyone.
Excellent. So we just change the action idea to the past continuous. No? So if you get present continuous, we change it to past continuous. Okay. Next tense. When we already get the tense in past simple, we have to change it to past perfect. Okay, let's see the sentences, please.
I sent the pony recording to New Zealand. Dean actually said that he had sent the pony recording to us.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So here we already have the sentence in past, not in simple past. And when we have that, we change that to past perfect, not had sent. Remember, had and past participle? So that's another rule. And the other rule is also if we get the sentence we want to repeat, right? With saying or said and told. If we get it in present perfect, we change it to past perfect. Could you read example, please?
You just learned a lesson the hard way.
Next.
Tony said that she just learned a lesson the hard way.
All right. Learned. No? They learned. So in the first example, we have present perfect, no have, just learn. And we change it to past perfect. We just change the have to had, no? Had just learned. So it's a little bit of logic, no? But it's important to recognize. And I think that's all. Let me check some important details. Oh, okay. So we change the time to make sense at that moment. So for example, you're expressing or mentioning something that was mentioned today. In reported speech, you have to say that day. If the person used the word now, you can replace with then or at the moment when you are repeating what it was being said, no? Because it's not the same. A veces cuando se está repitiendo algo que ha sido dicho, se puede utilizar cualquiera de estas expresiones comunes, ¿no es cierto? Sin embargo, cuando yo estoy repitiendo o informando, comunicando lo que se ha dicho en ese entonces, se cambia por este tipo de frases. Entonces, instead of saying yesterday, I can say the day before. Instead of saying days ago, days before. Last week, the week before. And that's the logic, ¿no? Porque el tiempo que era en ese momento, que pudo ser yesterday, tomorrow, etc., it changes because I'm mentioning or I'm repeating this, but later, right? Days before this. Do you get this? ¿Se entiende? It's just to keep, okay. Obviously, these are many words, not to remember. However, it's important to notice that, ¿no? No utilizamos el mismo tiempo que ha sido expresado cuando estamos repitiendo un mensaje o algo. No se repite el mismo tiempo, se lo cambia, se lo adapta, ¿no? Entonces, here, there, this, that, this, those, ¿no? And when we are using modal verbs, ¿no? ¿Te acuerdas que igual los modales son bastante comunes? Will, instead, if they
Yes.
use will, we use would when we repeat this message, you know, when we report the speech. Instead of can, we use could. And must, no? Have to, had to, past, may or might, we usually use might, should, se mantiene, ought to, se mantiene. Entonces, esos dos son los que cambian más, ¿no? Y el have. We would, ¿no? Can, could. Okay, so that will be it, Flor. Perdón, he tenido que correr un poquito para, para que se entienda, but is there any questions?
No, I don't have a question, teacher.
All right. So, I'm not sure if it's because of my internet, but I cannot launch my today's polls. Te voy a mandar, por favor, por mensaje privado. Creo que es por el tema de mi internet, no me deja, no veo esa opción. Entonces te lo voy a pasar por privado, por favor, y me lo respondes. Mil gracias.
Yes, okay.
Okay, thank you very much. So that will be it for today. Flor, you have all the quizzes available until Sunday, I believe until 6 p.m. And all the exercises too. You have all the quizzes until Sunday. So please work on them and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
teacher.
thank you very much. Have a good day, Flor, and see ya on Monday.
Okay, see you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.